Welcome to Sib Spot. Today's Reddit stories are from Am I the Butthole? Story 1 is by Visible Clue 165. I'm still posting the screenshots of this story, but the English is absolutely atrocious and it's really hard to read, so I'm going to be changing what's written multiple times while doing this. Am I the butthole for not allowing my neighbors to make a copy of my apartment key? So I recently just moved into my new apartment complex less than 60 days ago. There are only 4 units in my complex, 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. I reside downstairs in the second apartment. Most people here have lived here for 5 years, and there's an older resident that's lived here for 8. Everyone knows everyone and has been good friends with each other for as long as each one has been a resident. Everyone in my building has children besides me. The majority are single mothers. I am the only man. Apparently, there's an unspoken agreement I at first had no knowledge of between the rest of the tenants that the hallway door is to never be locked. No one ever locks the hallway door. That is until I arrived. From my knowledge, no one in the building has a hallway key, just keys to their apartments. The cost to replace a key is $70 for each, quoted from my landlord. I just finished moving into my place officially 3 weeks ago now. Each time I leave and come back from my complex, I always lock the hallway door. It's always been a thing to lock all doors behind me. My neighbor that works night shifts has arrived home for the past couple weeks to a locked hallway door, which is a surprise given that the door hasn't been locked for years. Apparently, everyone lost their key in the first year or so living in the complex. I will hear continuous knocking and banging until someone comes to open the door. The first few nights I was awakened and got up to unlock the door. After the first week I stopped getting awoken and my neighbor gets up to unlock it to let our neighbor in. If my neighbor isn't home or doesn't wake up to come to the door, she'll knock and bang on every window and yell until someone comes to open the door. Yesterday, my neighbor asked if I could please leave the door unlocked, given that it's always been that way and would like me to continue doing so. I expressed that while we live in a dangerous neighborhood, rated one of the top 5 most dangerous in our city, I feel more safe knowing strangers can't enter the building. While she understands my concerns, she assured me no one ever comes here but residents and invited visitors, and our safety is nothing to worry about. I had to beg to differ. She then asks if I would mind lending her my hall key so she can make a copy and let others make their own copy from hers. I politely declined because I wasn't comfortable with that. She offered to pay me to make a copy myself, which I also declined. For the past week, my neighbors have barely spoken to me. We usually tell each other good morning and chat a little or say hi, but not even that nowadays. My neighbor, who volunteers at the food bank in our community, would come back with goodies and share it with everyone in the complex. She has since knocked on my door to deliver me a box as she usually would every Wednesday. I don't need the food, but the change in this routine leads me to believe that I may have upset the rest of the tenants, and I honestly don't want any bad blood. You're the butthole here. You're the butthole. They've been doing it this way for years and years and years, and then you move in and you decide you're going to do it differently. They all lost their keys a long time ago. There is a fix to this, though. You guys all need to go to your landlord or superintendent, whoever owns the building, and tell them to install some sort of keypad lock that everybody knows the code to or something instead. Have a different way of getting into the building than a key that everybody has to hang on to. They all lost theirs. The landlord wants to charge $70 to replace it when it really costs like $3 or $4 if you go to a key cloning place. You're the butthole, though, because you could give them your key to make a copy of it. It's a key to one door that everybody should have anyway. Why would you not let them make copies of it? And yes, they shouldn't have lost their keys, but it's kind of silly. Like, you guys need to tell your landlord to install some sort of alternate kind of lock that everybody can get into, or maybe something somebody can be buzzed into, that sort of thing. I don't understand why a front hallway would have key locks on it. It's kind of strange. The title said you were being asked for your own apartment key to be cloned from these people. That's misleading, and it's also just not true. They're asking for the key for the front door to the whole building. You guys still have your own locked doors inside, so you're fine. And by Shisuri, down in the comments, So my understanding is this is a communal hallway leading to individual apartment entrances, and the doors to individual apartments can be locked. I don't understand why you wouldn't let them copy your hallway key if that's the case, to be honest. It costs like $3 to $5. Barring clarification, you're the butthole. Underneath that by Limitless Megan. Not always. Some high security keys can be expensive, but it doesn't matter as he's not being asked to pay for it. You're the butthole. You live in a dangerous neighborhood and are making it so your female neighbors are trapped outside at night. Aren't participating in letting them in despite knowing you locked them out. And you refuse to get them a copy of the communal door key even though they are happy to pay for it. Yeah, dude, you effing suck. Underneath that by That Fat Guy MJL. Counterpoint. Why has everyone else lost their high security door key? Landlord should charge them all to replace the lock. That's a serious concern. Landlords make enough money. I'm on the side of tenants generally lately. Tenants get absolutely destroyed by the cost of living. Our next story is by Advanced Cat 2288. Am I the butthole for laughing at my sister when her daughter finally cut her off? My sister has never been a prize parent. She married rich and had a baby because that's what she was supposed to do. Truthfully, she never looked after her own daughter for a single day. Even on things like Christmas, she would go to parties and her daughter would celebrate with us. Nannies don't work on Christmas. We all knew her daughter wouldn't have any semblance of relationship with her. As she got older, my sister would talk to her, but it was never about things she liked. It was always things like she'd book a trip to Disney for her birthday. My niece has been terrified of theme parks since she was small. My niece has just turned 18. She got her inheritance money from her grandpa and is set to start college this year. My dad drove her up to college dorm a couple days ago, actually. She's doing well. As soon as she got there, she sent her parents a text informing them that she was cutting them off and to no longer contact them. No one is surprised, not even her dad. No one besides my sister, apparently. She has been complaining since it happened. She's incredibly upset. But we tried to warn her, if you don't start bonding with her, she won't care for you and all that. When she finally approached me and explained her feelings and how she just didn't understand, I laughed at her. I told her that we'd all warned her and that I, in fact, am incredibly happy for my niece. She went and complained to our mom, who was potentially the only one on her side. She called me immature and said that it was the wrong thing to do and I need to apologize and all that. I haven't, but probably will. I thought I'd come and post to Reddit just to see the general public's idea. What's the point in life if you can't make at least one Am I the Butthole post, right? Haha. So, am I the butthole? I just don't see where you even slightly are the butthole. You warned her that this would happen. She kept doing things that your niece didn't like. She would go to parties when she was supposed to be spending Christmas with her daughter. She didn't give her a normal life, but it also sounds like she didn't really neglect her. So I feel like if she didn't neglect her and abuse her, I mean, not being there for holidays and birthdays and stuff can be a form of abuse in a way. But this is a little different than some of the stories I've read before. I don't really know. I don't feel like your sister is a complete butthole in this situation. I don't really think you are either, though. You all warned her that she needs to be more involved in her daughter's life, and she chose not to be. And now she's crying about it. You guys tried warning her. She didn't change her ways. I don't know. Nobody's a massive butthole on this one. Our next story is by That Technician 9244. Am I the butthole for walking out of a wedding I was part of and ruining the day? I dated my ex-boyfriend John for 4 years and got serious enough where we started planning for our future, weddings, kids, etc. I thought we were pretty happy, but last year he dumped me pretty suddenly. I tried to figure out what went wrong, but he said it was personal and that I should respect his space. During this time, my best friend Stacy and her fiancé Tom were my rocks, letting me crash at their place and just being overwhelmingly supportive and loving. When Stacy asked me to be her Maid of Honor, I thought it was a no-brainer and happily took on the task. Fast forward to what happened this weekend, the morning of the wedding. Tom asked me to meet him for breakfast super early in the morning before all of the festivities. I thought it was weird, but I assumed maybe he wanted me to pass something on to Stacy. What happened instead was that Tom let me know that a few days prior, Stacy admitted to him that she had an affair with John, which is what led to my breakup. He said that Stacy wanted to come clean to start their marriage fresh, and that he was forgiving her to move forward. He had gone back and forth between telling me and finally decided to spill the beans. I guess he had expected me to forgive Stacy too because the affair was so long ago. The opposite pretty much happened, and I just walked out on the wedding. It ended up causing a huge mess because it was basically running the whole show. Stacy made me do everything. She didn't even know what was happening at certain times or who to call. Not only that, but everyone realized that the Maid of Honor wasn't there. She had headshots and bios for the party on her wedding page. And the news of the affair eventually got out because her cousin knew John. Stacy and Tom have both been slandering me online now, saying that I ruined their once-in-a-lifetime moment. Some of their friends are on their side, saying I should have handled the situation more privately and at least stuck out the wedding since it was so last minute. I personally don't know what Tom expected, but either way I've been getting bombarded with text, and I heard that Stacy has been so upset she had to take time off work, which does make me feel like a butthole, especially since I've just been ignoring her calls. So you and your boyfriend were together for 4 years, and then the morning of their wedding, where they think that you're trapped, they decide that they want to inform you, so that their marriage starts off fresh, just wipe the slate clean, and make you feel like garbage on the day of their wedding. And they think it's wrong of you to walk out? What you did is the absolutely best thing you could have done. Walk out, go cold with them. Stacy lied to you massively and broke apart a relationship that you had for 4 years, where you were planning to get married and have kids. Absolutely, you're not the butthole on this. I don't even see where you're asking if you're the butthole. She's so upset she had to take time off work. It's deserved. She should be upset. She deserves to feel the pain you're feeling right now. Who cares if you ruined their day? It's a once-in-a-lifetime event. Well, they can have a redo if they want to. You can't redo your relationship with John. Boo-hoo. She's in the wrong in this, massively. Our stories for today have come to a close. Until we meet again, have an ultimate day.